Number one, our Constitution has set out the commissions which are supposed to be independent under Article 252. And they are independent because the Constitution has said so. Unfortunately, NCIC is not in the list of the institutions which powers have been donated by the Constitution, but it's a creation of an Act of Parliament, that is Act number 12 or 2008. And therefore, if you read again on the same section, it is a minister who passes the names to the president for appointment. Now, the question is, when it comes to operations of NCIC, where do they take the instructions from? They take the instruction from the minister who passed their names to the president. And that minister is the Minister of Interior, none other than Matiang'i and Kebicho. So we can talk about many things about that issue.
Kebicho is not the minister.
We can talk about many things about that issue, but when it comes to operations, you can see clearly.
So how do you suggest it to be done? Yes,
I'm coming there. Because you've also mentioned about the investigating power. So all these institutions derive their power from the Constitution. And NSIC, it's institutions like IABC, Land Commission, Public Service Commission, those are independent, and their commissions act independently because the Constitution intended them to be so. This is an Act of Parliament, and they have their boss somewhere. So independent. We may want to wish them they could be independent, and they can. But unfortunately, the law does not allow them to be independent. They depend on someone else. Secondly, on the issue about summoning, the High Court Justice Muriu on the case of Sabina Chege versus IABC made very serious pronouncements in terms of which institutions are supposed to summon members of public in the event there are issues. Again, Article 252.4 and 252.3 does not donate power to summon people by NCIC. Unfortunately, and that's what we are saying, unless that institution is placed under the Constitution and be given powers to summon witnesses and investigate and do all those things.
Look, my challenge here, because you're an advocate here, the IABC has no powers to summon because it's an independent commission in the Constitution.
Yes.
And so the Constitution has said these independent offices and commissions can summon, given the list of 4. NCIC is not an independent commission. You're saying it does not derive its powers from the Constitution. Can you then buy it from summoning based on an expression in the Constitution for specific offices?
I've said this. The Constitution, first and foremost, detailed the institutions which are supposed to be constitutional for purposes of independence. That's number one. Number two, Article 252.3 and 4.
It's 3.
Sorry, 3. Clearly has given out the commissions which are who have got powers to investigate and summon witnesses. Now, from the reading of that section of that 252.3, NCIC is not one of them. And therefore, it does not have power to summon anybody because our institutions derive powers from the Constitution. And therefore, if then...
Are you saying the NCIC should not exist?
I'm not saying it should not exist because it exists under an Act of Parliament.
But you're using the Constitution to block its work.
I'm not blocking. That's the law. As a 250, you are reading it, and you can read it to our viewers. Actually, 252.3 does not give powers NSIC powers to summon or even investigate. In fact, if they do, it's ultra-vires. Same thing happened.
What does the Constitution say about NCIC?
NCIC is a creation of Parliament. It's created.
It's not mentioned by the Constitution.
It is not mentioned by the Constitution.
So how would you use the Constitution to buy it? Yet it's not an independent commission. It's not an independent commission or an independent office.
Because the commissions which have been given powers to summon the members of public are well stipulated under Article 252, 253, 252, 3 of the Constitution. It doesn't have any powers, unfortunately.